Okay, welcome everybody to the, we're going to change the name of this from the chart chat. We're going to, a little branding change. We're going to change it to the penny stock billionaire live streams. For those of you who want to get rich quick or quicker, fast with some of these super exciting penny stocks, and potentially our next 10x to 100x winner. Okay, so I got to get the charts up on the screen. Stand by. I got started a little bit early here. Wait. Here we go. Share screen. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, all right, so sorry about that. All right, so the good news is this: we are now in the first inning, or maybe the second inning of the new bull market in penny stocks, which has started a couple of weeks ago. I've been telling you about this. I was expecting it to start. I think in June, June, and now it's almost September. So it took a couple of months longer, but now this is it is actually starting to happen. So we've had the big correction between Valentine's Day, February, March till July, 4 or 5 months, which have been brutal, and now we're getting some significant moves. We're in the early stages of some massive moves, and I think we're going to see some new 10 baggers. I'm expecting at least 2 more stocks in our universe to become 10 baggers by the end of December. I think we're going to actually have 2 round trip 10 baggers. So there's some really exciting things happening right now. Let me just change this up. So if anybody is brand new to our program, make sure you click the like, the subscribe button for the video. Join our YouTube channel, our Discord, our Telegram. The links are in the video description below. It's absolutely free. And again, if you wanna get on the ground floor of stocks like these, which you see below, we've had already 7 of these 10 baggers, a whole bunch of doubles, triples, 5Xers, what have you. All right, so with that said, let me start with the first one. I got 1, 2, 3. I actually have, here's what's interesting. I got 7 stocks right now, 7 stocks that we're going to talk about, which look like they're about to explode. It's been quite a while since we've had that many stocks to talk about that are, ready to lift off. I mean, it's been months. Usually, I focused on 2, 3, 4 stocks. For the last couple months, it's been a handful of stocks that were kind of making moves, but now it's really amazing. So basically what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna kind of have to, I don't know if you own these or whatever, but you're gonna basically have to kind of pick and choose. I mean, you can't buy everything, I guess. And of course, we never tell you what to buy or sell or any of that stuff. It's your own decision. But with that said, let's get into stock number 1. And this is not in any particular order. Excuse me. Okay, so AIML. So to give a little background, AIML, we introduced it over here. It's 70 cents roughly. I think it was 70 cents. Maybe it was technically here, so 65, whatever the number was. I mean, it just popped like the day we announced it. So, let's call it 75 cents. So basically the stock doubled in like a week, right? And then we went into that, February, that Valentine's Day bear market. The stock has actually held on okay. I mean, it hasn't been that bad. I mean, it's down, typically a lot of stocks, the microcaps got whacked like 50%. This was not an exception, but now what we are starting to see is this kind of double bottom happening, and you're starting to see some action. It's starting to come to life. It needs to break above this 50-day moving average, really, and I think it can happen pretty easily. What you're going to want to watch is when this stock breaks above 75 cents and 85 cents. Once it breaks above 85 cents, I think we're going to see a massive bull run in the stock. It could be an easy, well, double is not a problem. I think we can definitely see new highs, $1.70, probably 250 on the stock. We'll see how it goes. The market cap is very small. It's like a $16 million market cap. They got some great things in the pipeline. I think we're going to see some massive news in September. You know, the crazy thing is a lot of these Canadian companies, you know, a lot of them hold off news till September, you know, like, because, you know, I guess there's this theory that, oh, in the summer, why waste good news in the summer? Nobody's watching, which I don't know. It could be, I don't know if it makes sense or it doesn't make sense or whatever, but the idea is to make things interesting. So things I think are going to get interesting even without the news, because look, as I've said before, charts don't lie. The chart really tells you in advance what's going to happen with the fundamentals. And what I really like about this is, again, had a very, very long kind of sideways basing kind of pattern. And, you know, again, the longer the stock stays in this kind of base, when the breakout happens, it's in direct proportion. So, I mean, if I kind of eyeball this chart, I'm thinking that, you know, this thing could pop to $5. You know, there's a potential for that to happen. So that would only be, it's not even a big number. It'd only be like a couple hundred million. What would it be? It'd be couple $100 million market cap. So, you know, I think that with these kind of Canadian penny stocks, as long as they stay under 600, you know, once they get above 600 million market cap, it gets difficult. It gets more difficult for these things to move. But between like ground, you know, this kind of ground floor, 20 million, whatever, they can move 10x, 20x, not a problem, if they have kind of the fundamentals. So I think until the stock becomes 300 million market cap, it's pretty much a clear runway. So, you know, it could be a 10 bagger, you know. By the way, I'm going to get to some of the audience questions, whatever, comments later, but make sure to leave, if you're watching this video later or whatever it is, make sure you leave your comments in the video, not just in the live chat, but in the video thing afterwards, because it helps the YouTube algorithm. And, you know, look, at the end of the day, we are kind of beholden to the YouTube algorithm. So AIML looking very good. Let me pop in on the short-term chart. Let me see what. Yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. Watch what happens tomorrow. If this thing breaks above 62 cents, you know, you're going to see kind of this thing starting to run. Let's go into stock number 2 on the hit parade, and that is Fans, which, you know, this has been one of our. It's already a 1-year anniversary here. And what a ride it's been. So again, we introduced this last year at, I don't know, it was 20 cents, I think, around 20 cents, whatever it was. So it ran to what, 250 or so, pulled back after the Valentine's Day massacre. And again, it's built a very nice base. I thought that the breakout could have happened earlier. I mean, really, we were in a position to really make a run towards new highs back here in June. You know, they did that financing, which kind of derailed things a little bit, but you know, I have a feeling that they're going to put this money to good use. You know, these guys are not promotional. This is the crazy thing. This is they're not like promoters. They're not hype artists. You know, the Darius and Scott. They try to like not to say too much, because I think they're accountants. Their background is an accountant. They're like CPAs. I think both are CPAs by background. So they're very conservative guys. So they're not like pumpers. I wish they were, but the stock would have been $10 already. I think what their idea is to kind of let the fundamentals speak to themselves. I think I'm gonna probably do you know, what we're gonna do is on I'm creating actually a new channel, which is the Penny Stock Billionaire Gang channel here on YouTube. Technically, I think the video is actually streaming to that channel, but we're going to move all these chart things, the chart type of the commentary stuff, the opinion stuff to that channel. I'll tell you kind of why later, but you know, I don't want to mix opinions with company CEO interviews. It's still too, also we might have more controversial things to say. I don't want to mix that in with the Wall Street Reporter brand. I want to, it's whatever. So these guys, I think they're going to have some really exciting things cooking. They probably have some M&A deal. They have some acquisitions in the pipeline, I'm sure, because why else would they've raised, I think, what do they have, like 30, 40 million by now in cash sitting? They did a 15 million raise in the early part of the year. They just did, 20 million plus. So they must have a deal that they're looking at. Anyway, again, they're not telling me, I'm just speculating here. So here's what's happening with this chart. So we've built that base. I think this is the actual breakout, which is going to take this stock to brand new highs. Again, I think it's going to be $3-4 plus easily, maybe even $5. Why not, right? Look, we've seen some crazy numbers. Take a look at what Score was bought for by who's it? Penn? Who bought Penn? I think Penn. Who bought? I think it's Penn that bought Score. $2 billion valuation. Company only had 20 million revenues. So it kind of goes to show you what's happening in this market. So yeah, this is going to be yeah. I hope Fans gets bought out for like at least $5 tomorrow. If somebody pays $5 tomorrow, that'd be great. But let's see here. Okay, so I've been telling you about this kind of breakout starting to happen for a couple of days on Twitter, on our Telegram channel. If you want to join our Telegram channel, the link is in the description below. So what happened today is it broke above this, it closed above the 50-day moving average at the high, which is very bullish. You see this really nice key upside reversal pattern. You got the stochastics, the MACD line, whatever, about to turn up. It is basically everything is, all lights are green. So this is like all the technical indicators are green right now. This thing is set to go. Again, I like to make a disclaimer. All these stocks can go to zero. Everything is high risk. Don't put all your money into these. But this thing looks like it's ready to explode. And I think it's a very good setup still. I want to make a very important point. We're kind of in the early stage of the bull market for these 7 stocks. What I like about them is they're all at a base right now. Again, I'm a very my kind of viewpoint is I like things which are early, like kind of low risk, asymmetric setups. So you're kind of coming in at the ground floor. There's minimal downside, and you have unlimited upside. So I think in the case of Fans, the downside risk, I think it's been pretty much, look, if you look at the chart here, yeah, it's really, the base has been, let's call it 60 cents. So your downside risk might be 20 cents. I don't even see 20. I don't see this thing going lower at this point. I think it's just going to go straight up. But if you have to analyze it, look, it hasn't traded below 60 cents in a year almost, right? So the downside risk is 20 cents maybe. Your upside, I think this is going to break out. It's going to probably go to $3, $4, again, could be $5 in the next couple of months. So you're basically risking 20 cents to make, let's just say $2. Let's say $2, right? So that's a 10 to 1. That's a very good risk reward ratio. So I like that. What I don't like is I don't like to chase stocks that are already momentum, that are already made massive moves. I like things which are undervalued. I like to buy low, sell high. Isn't that the idea? Buy cheap assets, sell overpriced assets, right? That's kind of the theory. So I think Fans fits that description right now. I mean, it's not 20 cents, but it is, in a way, it's actually cheaper than where it was when it was 20 cents, because the fundamentals of the company now are much more advanced. It's been de-risked, and you kind of have this momentum starting to happen. So Fans in a very good spot right now. Let me go into the 1 hour chart. Yeah, so the short-term chart, this basically tells you that this thing is essentially in bull mode. You're going to have some resistance in the 90-cent range. Once it breaks 90 cents, there's really nothing between 90 cents and $1.20. So you get 90 cents, tomorrow, let's see what happens tomorrow. If it breaks above 90, if it closes above 90 this week, the next level is going to be, $1.25. After the stock breaks above $1.25, it's probably going to go straight to 250. So, Fans in a very good position. Let's see. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I don't believe in chasing these stocks. It's like, once these things start moving up, like, after they're up already 5x, 10x, whatever it is, your odds of making money decrease, basically, because there's less left on the table, so we want it served on a platter, cheap. You're coming in right here. You want to get into these stocks when nobody's really talking about them. If you go on these message boards, forums, you don't have 100 people talking about them. You have 5 people. Like, if you go on the CEO.ca website, if you see 50 people in that room talking about the stock, it means it's already close to the top. It's pretty much, that's what it means. If you see this 5 people or like nobody, that means it's ground floor. So yeah, all right, let's go into what else is happening here. Yeah, so Fans, again, good point. Yeah, they haven't really talked. These guys have a lot of tech assets, which would be very valuable to one of these, sports betting, iGaming companies, etc. And they could be positioned. We talked about it before. Once they have this portfolio of these casino games start being licensed out to these online casino operators, probably at the end of the year they're going to have everything. Then we're going to see next year be very exciting, because then you could see that, we talk about these crazy numbers. I mean, potentially, could these guys make $15 million? I mean, they could make $15 million in pure profit if they have, I don't know, 30, these games licensed, let's say just even 30 casinos, and they have, I don't know, 7 games. I went through the math before, but yeah, so things are looking very good here. Okay, let's see. Next one up is, okay. So basically, what I'd like to, bottom line here, what I want to tell you is this. So Fans, this was already a 10 bagger. It was already a 10 bagger, and it's going to become a 10 bagger again. Basically, I think it's positioned to become a return to those highs. Actually, can it become a 10 bagger from here? Is this stock going to go to $10? I don't know about that. I don't think it's going to go to $8.60. I think it could go to $5. But hey, we've seen crazy things happen in the markets. So I think we're in a good path to get to, 250 in the next few months. Everything above that is, considered a bonus. ESE is the next one on the list. Again, this is already a stock that was already a 10 bagger, and here's another opportunity to get in another bite at the apple. So we introduced this at like 35 cents. It went to 450, 480, I think it was, right? And again, after the March-February massacre, Stock took a bit of a beating. They did a financing, so there was probably short selling related to that starting in May. That's probably what happened, I think. I think what happened here is, yeah, probably there was short selling that came in for the financing, so these guys are already covered. And now the stock is starting to build a base. Okay, so we had the company on, we had the CEO on today. Check out the video on our channel, Wall Street Reporter, or Wall Street Reporter here on YouTube. He kind of talks about some of the things that they're doing. Look, I think the main thing, the story, as far as I'm concerned, for ESC is the M&A play, the roll-up play, the acquisition of these esports assets. So, and then next year, the story is going to be the organic growth and all that stuff. But for this year, next 6 months, the story is what's going to drive the stock, I should say, is the M&A activity. So they've already done 2 deals, right? Or a deal, the closing one now, or it's being closed. And I think they probably have a couple more things in the pipeline. Look, the guy's delivering what he said he would do. So the idea is to get to 100 million revenues this year. I don't know if they're going to get to 100 million run rate by the end of December, but I think it's a very good. You want to aim high, right? It might take them a few months longer. It might take them till March. Let's say it takes them to April. Who cares? I think if these guys get to let's say even 50 million run rate by December, the stock is going to do very well. I think we're going to see, this thing trade at $5 or higher. So we're building a nice little base here. The stock dipped a little bit lower than where I really wanted it to go. I mean, I should say I'm not controlling the stock, but I would have preferred to have seen the base in that $1.20 range. It dipped below it, so it needs to catch up, and we need to close about $1.30 or so to get that full bull market signal, and that's going to be your indicator that this thing is going to explode. Let's see here. Yes, we never give you any advice, but do your own due diligence, as they say. Okay. Oh, we got a super chat. Oh, we got to go to the and it's Singapore dollars. So Singapore dollars, that's like as good as American money. RK price target for TBP by September 22nd. This is priced $500 is the target for each of these. No. Okay. I'm going to cover these stocks. Actually, let me jump to these now, since money talks. Okay. So I'm going to skip the TBP. Actually, let me skip ahead to LOGIQ first. Let me get to LOGIQ first. I think that one is easier right now. So LOGIQ today, mega bullish indicator here. Look what this beautiful, beautiful chart that started to happen. Beautiful chart pattern. You have a breakout. You have the early stages of a breakout above this kind of flag here. You have a double bottom. So you have a lot of things lining up. You're above the moving average now. And again, it's a stock we introduced at 350. It ran to 14 and change. Why do I keep bringing these things up? Like what happened to these stocks? Because, if a stock did it before, if a stock has made a big run in the past, it means it could do it again. I mean, history, it means there's already a path that's been paved. So it's very easy for, if a stock went up 10x and it drops, it's very easy for the thing to go back up. So, I think it's a great, also I think it's kind of fun. You get in, you make 10x, you sell, and then, because look, what happens with these things the market always gets ahead of itself. In every case. I mean, look at all these stocks, they all get ahead of themselves. The valuations go crazy. And then, when reality kicks in, when they actually deliver good fundamentals, it's already been discounted. Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's like the old Wall Street adage. It never fails. It never fails. When you see these stocks go crazy, it's time to sell. And then you can get in again when they drop, 80% or whatever. And by then, the fundamentals start to actually happen. Look what happened with CBDT. I think CBDT is going to become a buy at some point the next few months. I think that thing is going to bottom out and it might run again. We'll see. Even Next Tech, I think it could bottom out in the next couple of months. It could have another. I mean, these things happen. So this thing is, bottom line is the path has been paved. So it's starting to take off. So the question is, where is it going to be September? That's 30 days from now. Again, I think we're going to, the stock has been kind of a little bit slower to move than it has been in the past. I think because it lost a lot of that momentum because of that capital raise. I went through all the issues, but once it does move, it gets some eyeballs on it. It's very tight. The stock is very tight. This is not one of these deals which has 200, 500 million shares. It doesn't have that. It's a small market cap. It's a 70 million market cap. It's nothing. So I think this thing could be above, easily above $5 by September 22nd. And it's already taking off. I think we're going to see higher prices this week. Let's take a look at the close-up chart. There you go. So this is also very bullish. You have the 1 hour chart that shows you a breakout of this kind of pennant. So it's kind of pivoting off this base. It's a really beautiful chart. And this thing is going to run. I mean, I think it could run to $5 easily by September 22nd. Of course, this is not investment advice. These things can all go to zero. Yeah, so that's that. Let me go to TBP. I was going to hold TBP for later, but I'll get. Since you're making a $5 super chat donation, obviously you're a very busy guy. You want to get. You're making an investment to get the answers right away so you can get off the live stream quickly. Time is money, right? Okay, so TBP, it's been that financing in a couple months ago. It got, it lost a little bit of mojo. We talked about this. It's been rebuilding steam. It's building steam. And, yesterday's close looked very bullish. Today, the stock is kind of, it's above the moving average. Technically, it's starting to go in an uptrend. So, it's starting to look good. I'd like to see this close above 30, let's call it 33 cents. And that's going to be confirmation. 30 cents is going to be your confirmation that the trend is back on. And where do I think? Okay, so there's some wild cards with the stock because, again, it's a drug discovery company. So, they got some trials going on. The stock is in an uptrend. So, technically means that things, the chart's looking fundamentals probably, right? The charts tell you the truth in advance. So I would say there's a possibility that they could have some very good results come out. And, with these things, these drug discovery deals, they can go crazy. I mean, it can go to $1 or $2 if they get some monster results. Well, who knows what can happen? There's a lot of. That's what the thing with these biotech, the drug discovery companies, they could just explode overnight. That's it. You never have a chance to get in. So, but I think all else being equal, I think it's probably going to be in the 45-cent range, maybe under 50 cents by September 22nd, because it's lifting off slowly. So I think it's going to be kind of a nice kind of uptrend. It's probably going to build like a cup and handle thing at the 50-cent range for a few weeks, and then we could break out above that. So I think it could be $1 by the end of the year. But it's going to be, at the rate it's going now, it's going to be a little slower. But hey, it's not bad. Look, this is, again, we introduced this at 17 cents. So, it's been a double already, so, or triple, what have you. And again, the trend is looking good here. So I hope I answered your question there. Let me just make a note here. So LOGIQ, TBP. Okay, so now let's get into the next ones here. Let's see here. Let me see if I have. Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, CBDT. Well, CBT is not a client since like April, so we only talk about current clients. Like again, CloudMD has not been a client since December. So yeah, look, one of the things that happens with some of these stocks, which you got to look for, is once they make a big move, right, and they raise a ton of cash, you know, it makes it very difficult for these stocks to keep moving, and especially when they kind of stop doing the promotion. So CloudMD kind of, they stopped promoting the stock basically. They stopped doing retail investor outreach for whatever reason, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside. Seen that with Skylight. Skylight, I think, could make a run here. I'm hoping it's going to make a run. Let's see here. Yeah. Occasionally we talk about Bitcoin only in terms of for overall sentiment. I don't know why are stocks boring. I mean, we've had multiple stocks increase between 1,000%, 2,000%, 5,000% in the case of in case of CBDT. So if you would have bought CBDT at a nickel when we introduced it, you would have had an opportunity to get out at $2.50 at its peak, right? I mean, I don't know of any cryptos that have done that, or any legitimate. I know there's like scammy, shit coins and also, scammy cryptos and all that. And that's a whole different mindset. Like, I mean, things that have some substance to them, sure, they might have a little bit of a promotional aspect and what have you. But at the end of the day, there's actually, an underlying business, so that there's some fundamentals that, there's some underpinnings. It's not like some, shitcoin that somebody invents, and I've read some crazy NFT. There's some crazy ones out there. And what's amazing to me is that these cryptos, there's like outright pump and dump schemes going on. Like I get these messages on like Discord, like people say, "Oh, join our Discord. We have a new pump every whatever Tuesday at 2:00." And basically, I don't know how this is legal. This has not been shut down. I don't know, the SEC or whoever, but these guys are like outright, blatantly doing a pump and dump because they're saying, "Hey, we're gonna start pumping this shit coin, and you get in, and then when everybody gets in, then you get out at later that afternoon, and you double your money, whatever it is." But look, the reality is, why would you want to participate in something that's an outright scam? Because, if you have to ask yourself, who's the sucker? You look around. I mean, you're the sucker. When you join one of these crypto pumps, I mean, by the time they tell you about it, somebody's already going to be dumping that crypto, right? I mean, it's not done as a philanthropy, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous, yeah. So I would concur. Yeah, listen. Here's the thing you got to realize. And I've said this from day one when I started doing these chart chats. These in the speculative microcap world, or in general, any type of growth stocks, not even penny stocks, like even large caps, stocks either are undervalued or they become extremely overvalued, right? So they get ahead of themselves. And that's great. If a stock gets ahead of itself and it goes crazy, it's phenomenal as long as you get out with a profit, and then you can get back in maybe if you like. If you like the fundamentals, you can get it back in later. I mean, again, I know there's always been those cases where, the outliers, I don't know, Apple, Amazon, I mean, I'm sure you can name a handful of those, but those companies always had, they always had like a massive business. There was always some really solid fundamentals there. So with a lot of these things, once they start running, pull your principal out. If a stock increases, if you're buying a stock at a nickel, it goes up to 25 cents. Pull out your, whatever, you put in 10 grand, pull out your 10 grand and let the rest rot. When a stock goes up to 10x, I'd be looking to get out. That's just my opinion. That's just me, because it's very difficult for a stock to go from 10x to, again, to go 10x. And the idea, our whole philosophy for the penny stock billionaires, this is not for the squares. This is only for people who want to be the penny stock billionaires. Like you see the little logo. If you want to be that guy in that corner in that logo holding the bags of cash, wearing a big gold chain with a dollar sign on it, with diamonds. What you need to do is you want to get into a stock, make 10x, get out, get into the next deal, make 10 times on that, rinse, wash, repeat. I mean, if you can do that 2-3 times in a row, parlay, you're going to make a fortune. I mean, now the odds of you doing that 3 in a row back to back, I'm not saying you put all your money, but look, the risk management is the key thing. But we've had people do that. Look, we had this kid, we had Calvin Ting, the penny stock billionaire in Vancouver. We're going to get him back on. We have a video with him. He's done it, right? He's turned 2 grand into $1 million. We have the guy, right? The retiree, the pensioner, I think they call him in the UK or Europe. That guy's, I don't know. He's sent me a message that he's done pretty well. I think he's going to give me an update with maybe some screenshots, but he's definitely done very well. Look, once a thing goes 10x, get your parachute ready. You want to start bailing out the second the stock starts losing momentum, because when these things crash, they crash. The short sell, especially in the microcap world, you got short sellers coming into these things. All sorts of crazy things start happening. So you want to move on, and then you can always come back. You can always come back when the stock is cheap. Again, PKK, an example. It's a stock we introduced at 30 cents, right, or 70 cents split adjusted. It hit $11. This is already a $1 billion market cap now. What are the odds of this going to a $10 billion market cap in the next year? I don't know. I mean, could the stock double? It could. I mean, we've seen things go crazy. I mean, look, with CBDT, the smart money would have been bailing out at 60 cents. And that guy, the Montreal, I think he bailed out at like 65 cents, right? But the stock went crazy because it was also that it was all the stars kind of lined up, and it was the peak of the market mania. We're not in that market mania time right now. This is not the period that we had last year of this, like December to February. There was that period in time, 3-month period, where you had this like blue sky potential. Today, we're in a very different market. We're in a more conservative market. It's a more normal market, so things could run, but they need more fundamental, speculative right now. So instead of stocks becoming 10 baggers in 4 months like we had in December to February, we had like 2 stocks that went up 10x in 4 months. ESC, CBDT. Now it's going to become more normal. It's going to take them like 10 months. Listen, PKK is case in point. It took them 10 months to become a 10 bagger. So, which is, everything there worked. I think the fundamentals are much. I mean, they have 100 million revenue run rate, great fundamentals. The question is, is it worth $1 billion and change because it's a China deal that I'm making? I can go through $1 million, whatever. I'm not here to knock the stock. I'm just telling you, you got to look at realities with things. And again, our kind of game plan is get in, make 10x, get out, rinse, wash, repeat. Very simple. Hey, I agree. Look, the momentum, that stock, that stock could have held at $1.50. And I've gone through again, I'm not here to be what do you call it, Monday morning quarterback. But look, there was no reason for that thing to lose that momentum the way it did. Yeah, so here's the thing, man. Again, there's some ruthless short sellers. You got this guy Moaz Kassam, the Anson Fund, others. Those guys have attacked some of our stocks. I mean, and like with Nextech, a couple of others, Cytodyne. I don't think any of you guys were into Cytodyne, but Cytodyne was a stock that we introduced at 35 cents. No, excuse me, 50 cents. We introduced it at 50 cents American dollars. It dropped about 35 cents. It was very slow for many months. And then it ran to $10.01. From 50 cents to $10.01. Short sellers came in and destroyed that stock. It came back, whatever, but it's never been the same, and they kind of stopped promoting also. So that did not help. So but anyway, to the next 10 bagger, cheers. I concur. Hey, listen, I have heard stories of people holding some of these stocks. I mean, they got in early, and they're holding them. They think, oh my God, this thing is going to go whatever. I don't know if it's greed, FOMO, whatever. Some people are too greedy. Some people are too fearful. So you got to walk a balance, you got to walk a balance. Okay, so I want to bring in one. All right, the next Calvin Ting. We gotta get Calvin Ting back on here very soon. Let's see. Let me just catch up with the comments. Let me catch up to the comments. Okay. A cautionary tale. So here is one of the reasons why you do not want to put all of your money into one stock and try to do 10 bagger, and you want to diversify. Because what could happen, yeah, sure, stocks can drop, whatever, but the worst case, this is terrible. In Canada, these things can get halted, pending a merger and acquisition. So, halted doesn't mean it goes worthless. It means basically the stock is halted until they close a deal, and shit, I mean, that could be months. So this thing has been halted for already, what is it? We're already in 4 months. We're waiting for this India sports betting, whatever deal to close. You got some drama going on there. I think it's like, so to answer your question, yeah, I mean, technically they're still a client, although, I mean, I guess they're free. I've been waiting for months already for these guys to come back, close the deal. It's basically, I mean, this is a sucky situation because the only positive is that maybe it saved them from the market correction in the last couple of months. But yeah, so hopefully they're gonna close the deal. The stock is gonna be unhalted, and then it could be huge. I mean, I love their story. Yeah, there you go. Listen, sometimes it's there's nothing wrong with making a fast triple or whatever. Actually, hang on a second. Hang on a second. I want to do a survey. Hang on a second. I need to stand by. I need. Okay, so I had I had to mute because I have to go into anyway. I have a survey up on the screen. If you can see the survey, okay. Here's a question. Here's a theoretical question, right? So, look, the reality is this, right? With the Wall Street Reporter, especially the next super stock, the stocks that we have in our next super stock universe. Again, I'm looking for real fundamentals. They got to have real fundamentals. They got to have a bunch of things lining up. But my question is this to you, right? There's always stocks out there that are, they're basically, how shall I say it? They're promotional. I don't want to use the word pump and dumps, but they're kind of fly by night type of deals. But that things are set up where they could double or triple very fast, right? Or even higher, right? I've seen these things a lot of times. I stay away from them. But my question to you is this: do you really care if you can potentially double or triple your money, but the stock is like a fugazi stock? Would you buy that stock if you know it could double or triple? Or do you only want to buy stocks that are fundamentally sound, have real fundamentals? So answer yes if you don't care, if you buy something that's just purely speculative, it's a pump, or whatever you want to call it, and you answer no if you would only buy a stock based on fundamentals. So it's a little bit of I'm just out of curiosity here. So this guy agrees with the Gilbert. Triples are okay. Sean Kirk, take your cost out at the minimum. Play with the house money. Do your due diligence to get out before. Okay, yeah, I agree. Rinse, wash, repeat. Yeah, so that was a bets. That's the stock we're talking about. That's been halted, pending the close. January, February. Absolutely, yeah. January, February, like insane. That was kind of the blow off where you wanted to be positioned. So here's the key is, but to make that big money, you had to be positioned in these stocks in December, in November, when things were cheap. So you got to get in when the charts look like this, like what we have on the screen. That's when you want to get in. When the chart looks like this, and the charts and the other charts we showed, that's when you want to get in. That's what, those stocks that you're talking about, the ones in the February, March that went up 10x, 50x, all those charts looked like this before they ran up 10x, 20x, whatever crazy numbers were. And anybody who was chasing the charts when they went parabolic, the guys who were buying the parabolic move got burned. So yeah, you gotta get in when the charts look like this, or not this one, but the other ones which look like they were flatliners. RHT, I'm going to go to that. That is, I have saved the best for last. I'm not saying it's the best. Actually, no, we have two more. We have Visby also. Okay, so will we ever see a run like that again? Absolutely. Well, actually, it's interesting. The run up happened after Trump was out, so it was January, February. So what does it show you? And I think it kind of shows you that the market really doesn't care who's running the country. Really, I mean, yeah, the economy could go bad. With Biden, or whatever, he could screw things up. He's obviously, it's a disaster. But the market. I think here's the thing. Here's what I think is happening. I think this disaster in Afghanistan, this massive. I mean, it is. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, I don't even know if disaster is the right word. It's going to really set the U.S. back. I mean, decades. I mean, China's going to come in there. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but here's the thing. The positive, the upside of this thing is that I think it's going to make basically Biden, the Democrats, lose a lot of credibility so that they're not going to be able to kind of implement that whole liberal agenda and all the crazy stuff. I think people are going to start to realize that these guys are not going to stay around too long. So that's, I think, the only positive. So maybe that's why the market is rallying. I mean, look, why is the market making new highs? Think about it. Why is the market making new highs when the U.S. has just had probably the biggest disaster since, I don't know. I can't. It's not like even Vietnam. I mean, it doesn't even compare because Vietnam is not really relevant. Afghanistan is actually relevant because where it is, I mean, it's going to be a key part of the whole China, that whole Silk Road, Belt Road initiative. They got a couple $1 trillion in natural resources. They got lithium. They got all sorts of good stuff in there. Guess who's going to get it? The Chinese. And the bad part is, the Chinese are now becoming a little more communist. I mean, the guy, was it Xi, whatever his name is? He's kind of revealing his true character, which is basically a communist. I mean, he's shutting down. What is he shutting down? These for-profit education companies. A lot of stuff. So it's interesting, but still, they're going to do this. It's a weird balance act that they're doing there. But one of the reasons why I'm not really keen on anything to do with Chinese stocks right now, because I think the risks are just too high. I mean, the risks are just too high for China right now. Listen, by the way, here's the thing, a very key point. Don't fall in love with these stocks. When you see, one of the biggest problems I see, how people lose money is, if you go on some of these message boards, like, again, an example, or, Yahoo Finance, and you see this like chorus of, it's an echo chamber. Everybody's just saying, oh, the stock is up. The stock, it's up to, it's up, a nickel, whatever it is. Everybody's just, it's like a circle jerk. Everybody's just, blowing hot air, and they're all like, saying, oh, somebody should buy more stock, take one for the team, or whatever. They're all like egging each other. It's kind of like what you see with the Wall Street bets type of thing happen. When you don't get caught up in that. I mean, these stocks are not your friends, right? Don't get married to these stocks. I mean, it's purely an instrument to make money. When you make money, you sell it, you go on to the next deal. I think maybe 1 out of 100 stocks that we bring on, and this is really, I think perhaps 1 out of 100, maybe not one, maybe 1 out of 50 is actually going to be, that next Apple or whatever, whatever it's going to be. The other 49, whatever, there could be 10 baggers, 20 baggers, whatever it is. But, they're going to be forgotten in a couple of years because, they're going to come down. The business will change. They might have executional risks problems. They'll get bought out. Who knows what happens? I'm not saying they're going to go to zero, but, most of these companies are just usually not around after a couple of years. With any business, but, in the microcap space especially. So, yeah, it's going to be 1 out of 50, whatever it is. I don't know which one it is. I'm sure one of them is going to be huge, right? That 100 bagger, we're going to have 100 bagger at some point. By the way, I can't see the survey. Is the survey up on the screen? Would you buy a stock that's a promotion? If it is, just please leave a comment in the live chat because I can't really see it. But if you see it, please respond. See this guy knows what to do. Buy low, sell high. I think that's what he's saying. I don't know. It's a French translation. I don't know what it means. Maybe it means, did he sell in March and then bought in the summer? Because this summer has been very cheap. LOGIQ. I haven't looked at the weed stocks really. I gotta look. I'm not big on the cannabis stuff. I'm not really like a big fan of it. Like historically, interesting question. I would say no. The real answer is fundamentals. Fundamentals amplified by promotion, which is simply by promotion. I mean just. You have good fundamentals and, we're able to bring a lot of eyeballs to the stock. Look, the reality is this, we get paid, Wall Street Reporter, Octagon Media gets paid to promote stocks. So really what it means is we get a lot of eyeballs on these stocks. We have a whole program, a multifaceted approach to get a lot of investor attention to these stocks, whether it's retail, institutions, family offices, all that stuff. The live streams that you see, like on the YouTube stuff, that's like one small part of it. That's like 1 out of, I think we have 5 different facets that we have. So that's just one part of it. So it's really fundamentals. The charts but the charts tell you what's going to happen. I mean, the charts kind of tell you what's going to happen. Yes. Okay, so we're going to go Visby. So you're saying, okay, so in order for that to happen, stock would have to go to $70, basically, from 77. So can peak go to 7? I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, to be honest, I think it could go $18 potentially in a crazy. I think there's just too many shares outstanding now. There's just too much. You get a lot of, it's a different story than it was. They have a ton of cash now. They get 100, probably they're going to have 100 million cash. The question is, what are they going to do? It's almost like a SPAC at this point. It's weird. It's a different situation. More than 1 in 50 will be 100 baggers or around. I don't know. I hope so. Okay. Oh, so the survey's up. Okay. Oh, very interesting. Okay. So this is a very fundamental audience here. Okay, so let's go to the Visby chart. So what is going on? The chart is an amazing technical setup right now. You kind of see this base it built, a very solid base, 45 cents. So we introduced this at 15 cents back in last November. It ran to 90 cents. They did this financing here. The stock is above the moving average. It's pivoting off that moving average right now. So you got multiple things lining up here. It's ultra bullish. Super bullish. And again, if we look at this short-term chart, this 1 hour chart, and again, with Visby, it's not liquid enough. It doesn't trade enough volume to really show an accurate 1 hour chart, but still, you get the picture. And we're gonna have Jay, the CEO. He's gonna be on. I wanted to have him on today. He's at a conference, so he's hopefully next week we'll have him on. We got some things happening here. I think Visby is gonna make new highs in the next 30 days. I think it's gonna be a double by the end of September. So keep an eye on this. And from there, this can go to 250. It's not gonna take a lot. I mean, it's a pretty tight stock. So here's so the question I was asking, in the survey, and I don't know if you voted, maybe you want to re-vote, but what I was asking is, if you see a stock that's potentially a triple or a double in 30 days, do you care if it's basically, if you know blatantly that it's a promotion? It's like these Bitcoin. It's almost like this Bitcoin stuff. We had a guy, I was talking about the Bitcoin, these pumps, these shitcoin pumps. So coins, right? You have shitcoin stocks, right? So if you see a stock that's basically a shitcoin, but it's going to move, it could double or triple in a month, right? Or more. Would you buy that stock? Or no, you wouldn't buy it because that it's basically, there's no fundamentals. That's my question I was asking. So if you voted or whatever, so to clarify, that's what I was asking. That's right, he's in Chicago. Oh, how do you know? He's in Chicago. Oh, wait. Okay, so 75 is, okay, so I'm confused. So is this correct? 75% of people will buy a stock, even if they know it's a promotion, if they know there's a chance it's going to double or triple in 30 days. Is that clear? Okay, I'm trying to understand. This is I don't know. I'm not. Okay. So I'm not familiar with. Apparently he's a big rate. I don't know. I'm in the U.S. I think he was big in Canada, right? He's like a big radio guy, like in Canada. So I don't know. But it's very interesting. Listen, the guy's a very sharp guy. He comes across, he does this goofy act, on the video. That's not his personality. I mean, he's a serious guy. He's actually a very serious guy. It's pretty interesting. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen with this stock, with Trip. We're not doing anything with them because I don't know, they're kind of on hold, whatever. They're closing the merger. Yeah, because I'll tell you something funny. Because the reason I asked this question is because I'm gonna do another live stream. Okay, hang on. I got I should be drinking water, but I don't have any bottled water, so I'm resorting to drinking this one because otherwise my throat is drying up. So excuse me. Okay. By the way, I completely agree with this. The stocks we talked about, all 7 stocks, are looking super bullish. I think we're going to go promising next couple of months. It's going to be what do they call it? An Indian summer. You know, it's like I don't know if they have that. It's like I think they call that in like I mean in California they have that, where it's like it might be cold till about August or so. In San Francisco they have that, right? So it's like, you know, August it's freezing. It's like 65 degrees, right? July, August it's freezing. And then October comes around and it's like 80 degrees. It's an Indian summer. I don't know what the Indians have to do with the summer or something. I don't know where it comes from. Indians, the American Indians, not the Indians from India, just because I know we have people from all over the world watching, and you know, they may not know what that means. Okay, so that's what it means. It's the Indian summer, yeah. So yes, we have. Yeah, we got a lot of great things happening. I mean, we've got 7 things right now. This is the biggest number of stocks we have that are ready to go in bull mode since last November, maybe. I mean, this is like this is the best setup right now. We have the best technical setups that we've had in a year, and you saw what happened after last November. Things went just ballistic. So I think a lot of these stocks can go ballistic into the end of the year. By the way, so what we're doing is we're going to try to separate these chart chats, like this opinion type of videos, to a new channel, which is going to be the Penny Stock Billionaire channel on YouTube. That's where you're going to find it. And the Wall Street Reporter, I'm going to keep it purely as CEO interviews, you know, more serious. I don't want to have, I don't want to commingle you know, like opinion stuff, charts with like serious CEO interviews and news, because people might get confused, and you know, we talk about more controversial things. I don't want to get that mixed in with the Wall Street Reporter thing. Yeah, and maybe might even talk about more speculative type stocks on the Penny Stock channel, which, you know, are not appropriate for Wall Street Reporter, because it's you know, we want to keep Wall Street Reporter as a serious channel. You know, historically, Wall Street Reporter, we've had, you know, really blue chip stocks. I mean, if you go back to the past year, and we've kind of moved away from that, but historically, I mean, typically the CEO interviews that we had were you know, middle market companies like New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ companies, you know, $800 billion market cap, you know, not 10 baggers, but, you know, decent stocks, growing, whatever. Purely interviews, we didn't do real promotion. It was more just informational. So, so stay tuned. Make sure that probably the next time we do one of these live chats, these chart chats, it's going to be on that other channel, the Penny Stock Billionaire channel, and the link will come up. So you're going to have to, you know, please subscribe to that channel. Okay, so let me see, what else did I want to add here? Okay, so I covered that. Oh, one thing, you know, I do want to talk, what I'm going to be talking about on the Penny Stock Billionaire channel. I'm going to be talking about actually a couple things. One is going to be like, you know, like how to analyze these stocks. One thing I want to really address is a concept which I think is very important, which is kind of the difference between, there's, I think, 3 categories of companies in the penny stock world, right? There's companies that have legitimate fundamentals, you know, they're early stage legitimate fundamentals. You have your pump and dumps, or, you know, let's just call it promotions, right? And then in the middle, you have an interesting category. You have it, what I will call the fake it till you make it stocks, okay? The fake it till you make it is an interesting category, which is basically companies that are kind of set up as they have a little bit of fundamentals, but it's mostly a promotion, because they kind of want to get the stock to run, and then they hope to turn it into a real business. So it doesn't really start off as a real business. It starts off as a promotion, but then it could become a real business. And we've seen that happen with some of our, some big winners have been in that space. So I think it's at the end of the day, though, it's very important for investors, speculators, to understand what you're buying, right? Or as a certain other website will say, know what you own, which is really know what you actually have. Whether is it a pump and dump, which can still go up? Is it a solid fundamental play, or is it a fake it till you make it, a finesse type of stock, which could be great as well? Some big winners, right? It's very important to know what you're in so that you don't get, as the great movie Scarface, what is it? There's two great quotes from that line, which is, don't get high on your own supply, and don't be a chazer, right? So two important pieces of wisdom in that movie, which apply to the penny stock world. So, one of the big mistakes I see happening is people get high on their own supply on some of these sites where they think, there's a lot of hype, these message boards, these forums, they think stocks are going to go to the moon, or they think, fundamentals or whatever, and some of these guys, they really don't know the difference between a pump or fake it till you make it, or a legitimate company. There's a big difference, which, kind of that difference is, affects what you're going to do with it. So I'm going to be talking about that on the Penny Stock Billionaire channel. We're going to have the link. The channel is up on YouTube, but I'm not sure if it's functioned yet. So we'll see the next day or so, but that'll be up. We do have the Twitter thing up yet. It's just a little fun thing. All right. On that note, thank you everybody for joining. I'll see you in the next live stream, and hopefully, I think by the time we see each other again, I think some of these stocks are going to run. So, did I talk about RHT? Did I talk about RHT? Visby. Oh, hang on. Did I talk about RHT? I don't think I. Okay, so Visby, amazing. Did I talk about RHT? I may have forgotten about RHT. I forgot about RHT. Okay. I don't know if I did or not. Okay, so RHT, fantastic chart setup. I think we're ready to break out. Cup and handle formation. We're above the moving average. Again, phenomenal fundamentals in the stock. Their goal is, or actually not even a goal. They're saying they have 200,000. Here's the fundamentals. You want to hear fundamentals? Know what you own. Okay, 200,000 patients. Contracts is done deal, right? So it's a question of getting them onboarded now, which is going to happen. They're saying over the next 12, 18 months. They started, right? Every month, more and more people coming into the pipeline. Companies are already break even, profitable now. This is what the CEO said. Profitable already. They just turned profitable. Was it last month? We'll find out in this quarter, ending September. But the story is this: by December, they're going to be at a $2 million a month run rate revenues, exiting the year $24 million run rate, right? And they're just getting started at that point because they're just starting that, the onboarding process. And by the way, they're not done at that point. They're still bringing in new contracts. They're signing new contracts all the time, right? You're seeing those news releases. What does it mean? It means that when they get to $24 million run rate by December, which is just the first inning, that means I believe the market could start valuing them at 50x, 50, half a hundred, $1 billion, $1 billion, $1 billion. What does that mean? That means the stock could be, $5, $6 by December. And people are going to go bananas. They're going to go crazy. once the stock breaks out above $1.50. Again, what I love about the stock, it has a lot of haters on that CEO channel, COCA, the forums. I don't know who these people are. I haven't seen, the crazy thing is this, I have not seen their comments lately. I like to follow these channels just to get an idea of the sentiment. I mean, I don't pay attention to it as like, whatever. I just like to look at these channels, the different forums, message boards, to get an idea of the market sentiment. If things get too bullish, I know the stock is topped out. If it's too bearish, I know it's a bottom. Relic has been very bearish the last couple months. You have a bunch of clowns on there. I haven't seen them lately. They've disappeared for some reason. I guess because the stock is going up. This is what happens, right? So these clowns go away. Once the stock breaks out above $1, it's going to be a whole new level. So again, the fundamentals are there. I mean, it's probably one of the best fundamental stories we have right now. Again, the problem is, why is the stock so cheap right now? Because, again, this company was around a couple of years. They got ahead of themselves. It's a development stage company. They got ahead of themselves. In terms of they had some problems, execution risk, execution problems. Yeah, the COVID thing that set them back a year in terms of getting onboarding. A lot of things happen. All those things are behind them now. So, that's it. It's and again, some of the biggest winners usually come through companies that have been through that adversity. The biggest success is usually launched from massive adversity. These guys have been through it, right? We're going to see what happens. You're going to know in the next 30 days, 60 days, if this is just a promotion or this is going to be the next multi-billion-dollar company. I'm betting that it's going to be the next multi-billion-dollar story. You're going to have to watch and see and decide for yourself. But again, the charts don't lie. And what the chart is saying is that this thing is heading up. Mega bullish. Again, it's consolidating in this 90-cent range. It might stay here for maybe another week. Bounce around here, maybe 90, $1 or whatever. It's going to bounce around. But once it breaks above $1, $1.25, the rocket is going to, not even Mars. It might go to Saturn. Who knows? No, actually, no. I don't think, no. Good question. No, it is not. No, I think it's a real company, real fundamentals. It might have been that a few years ago, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't involved with it then, so I don't know the early history. But no, it's a real company. There's others I would call fake it till you make it, but I'm not going to discuss them on this. I'll discuss them when we are on the Penny Stock Billionaire channel. I don't want to cause any controversy. Yes. On that note, thank you everybody for joining. I will see you in the next live stream. And to your next $1 billion winner.